Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Just Saying Football with Jack and Sean. I'm your host, Sean Gann, alongside my partner, Jack Nicholas. We're here to bring you news notes, weekly updates, and game analysis of your favorite teams from around the league. If you have the chance, go check out our website, justsayingfootball.com. Follow us on Instagram at JustSayingNoG, WJS for article and video updates. And also, don't forget to check us out on Spotify at Just Saying Football. We want to be in your ears. We like it in there. It's warm and cozy. Now, before we kick off this weekend's episode, just a little update on a few things.
Yeah.
Damar Hamlin is recovering. He's talking to his family. He's communicating. All things are pointing in a great and positive direction.
Definitely.
Cannot be more happy about that. Second,
Yeah.
everyone's probably wondering, you're not in a studio. Where could you be? We're in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Sunny, beautiful Pittsburgh.
Yeah, we're here to go see the Browns come to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers on Sunday, so we will be at that game. That's going to be our live game of the year. But we got a couple more things to get into before we get to that one, Sean.
Let's jump off with the Saturday game because we have the Kansas City Chiefs making their way to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The Raiders are poo-poo nonsense. Jarrett Stidham right now is their quarterback. I don't know what's going to happen with the Derek Carr situation.
Yeah.
I'm locking in Kansas City. They're looking to lock in this number one seed. They're definitely going to get the win.
Yeah, Kansas City on the road. Pat Mahomes 480 yards away from the all-time record. He's not going to maybe get that in my opinion, but he's going for 400, no problem. I'm taking the Chiefs as well.
I will say he is going to get it. Have some fun with your bets today. It's the last week of football for the regular season. Enjoy it. He's going to hit it 500 yards, hit the over on the 450 for sure. Let's keep this moving along. We have the Tennessee Titans making their way to Jacksonville. Now, this is a playoff important game. The winner of this game not only makes it to the playoffs, they win the AFC South.
They go into the division. They're going to host a playoff game. So there's a lot on the line for a Tennessee-Jacksonville game. Nobody would have expected. I'm going Jacksonville straight out the gate. I think they have the best chance of winning the way they've been playing. Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, also incentives to hit 90 yards. So go get it.
Look, Derrick Henry is the daddy of the Jacksonville Jaguars, but it hasn't been the case this season.
Yeah.
I'm locking in the Jacksonville Jaguars. It is their time. I like Josh Dobbs. I think he's potentially could be the future of this team, depending on what happens with Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't have a ton of confidence in this offense outside of Derrick Henry, and especially in the passing game.
Yeah, and the next game we're kicking off a little bit of the blowout games here.
Games that don't matter because we got some teams on the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. So first off, Tampa Bay, Atlanta. How are you feeling about that? Tampa may sit some people as well.
Look, I'll still lock in Tampa Bay. I wouldn't be surprised if Atlanta gets the win, but if they get the win, it's going to be because everyone's sitting out. At the end of the day, the Falcons just want to put some respect on their name, maybe have a nice Ritter kind of day, and then look forward to the offseason and next season. Tampa Bay right now, you're going to be hosting a playoff game next week. So you want Tom Brady to be fully healthy, Mike Evans, who just went off, Chris Godwin, all these guys.
And the defensive players. So, I'm going to go with Tampa no matter what. I think that they're just a well-coached team. Atlanta kind of looks like a dumpster fire to me right now. So, I'm going nowhere near them.
You say that to Arthur Smith.
And speaking of dumpster fires, the biggest one of the weekend we can get right through, Houston, Indianapolis. How you feel?
Who cares? That's how I feel. Who cares?
That's our game pick for the week.
They could have the number
one
pick.
Go Indianapolis.
Yeah, if your Texans lose, get the number one pick. Bears, you also have a chance to get the number one pick. I don't know. I don't give a shit, though, right now about the Texans and Colts. This has just been a sad season if you're a Colts team.
Both teams teams to watch. Just not happy to hear it. Let's go into something a little bit different. LA, something to play for. They're going into Denver. How are you feeling about them? Austin Eckler, by the way, 14 catches away from the record for most catches by a running back ever, and he's hit 14-2 thresholds this season. So what do you think about?
I think he's going to get under 14. I'll put him at a comfortable 10 reception kind of day.
Yeah.
I am also going to go with the Chargers win. The Denver Broncos offense is just pathetic. I mean, Russell Wilson has finally thrown more touchdowns than he has bathrooms in his own house. That's only 13 touchdowns. That's sad.
It took him 17 weeks to do that too.
17
so
weeks.
maybe get less bathrooms and throw more touchdowns. But
keep the running plays though. That worked well for them.
What I'm looking at here too is that they both of these teams. One of them has someone to play for. The LA Chargers. They are in the playoffs. They are trying to make a statement here, and a win here just helps them move that momentum forward. So I love
Joey Bosa coming back healthy right in time for the playoff push.
Good thing to mention, him and Khalil Mack, we have not seen enough of them this season.
Cannot wait for them to be fully healthy.
How do you think about this? We got Arizona and Trace McSorley heading out to San Francisco. San Francisco got someone to play for. They're trying to lock up the first seed in the NFC with my guy, Brock Purdy.
Yeah, they got potential to do that with Mr. Irrelevant on the roster. Now, I've been saying a lot, there are some sad teams out there. The Colts, the Texans. You can put the Cardinals right there in that category as well. That has just been a sad team all season. Not what you're expecting. No Kyler Murray, Cliff Kingsbury. We've said it all season, is on the hot seat. He's now officially on the hot seat with how the season's gone. I just stay away from the Cardinals. J.J. Watt's retired. There's nothing a lot for this defense. You also have to imagine they're probably going to rest some of their key starters. Don't want to deal with any more injuries for the offseason.
Definitely not. And with San Francisco, Kyle Shanahan, he wants to rest some of these guys for that week with the bye week.
But Debo's in. He's in. He's in.
I'm saying Debo's going to get in. I think that he does need that little rest. It wouldn't hurt for them. You know, the Eagles and Cowboys kind of can put themselves in a situation for San Francisco to go up. So, I mean, man, you got everything you need there in San Francisco. Easy win for them. Go get that first seed. Go get some rest.
I like it. We've got
And next we got Carolina at New Orleans. Not the most incredible game. One of the worst divisions all year.
Yep.
I like the Saints out the gate just because they're not, you know, they don't have Sam Darnold running the team.
Yeah.
Kills me.
I'm going with the Saints. The Panthers have been kind of exciting the last few weeks, playing really well. I thought they might have actually surprised the Bucs last year. They did not.
Yeah.
Or last week they did not. I'll lock in the Saints for sure.
Totally. And so easy game there. This one maybe a little bit different. We have Buffalo hosting New England, one of our good games.
Yeah, this is a great game.
Now New England, they are one of the 3 seeds in the AFC. They're one of 3 teams in the AFC. They're trying to get the 7th seed along with the Steelers and the Dolphins. So I wanted to just think about this. If they go in, do they have more to play for, or are the Bills going to be playing for that first seed?
I think the Bills are playing for the first seed. Given everything that's been happening, especially last week, now we have the new rules. Could be a flip of the coin, neutral site decision, all these kinds of things. I think at the moment right now, if you're the Bills players and you just got to get this win right now, you want to beat the Patriots, get a win against a division opponent. You can knock out a division opponent from the playoffs, which would be great considering like no one wants to deal with Bill Belichick. Or you let them in again and then you play them the first week like you did last year and you dominate.
Yeah, there's stuff like that where I feel like Belichick has had the Buffalo's number. Buffalo is a totally different team this year. They're one of the most well-rounded teams. Yeah, I mean, and the way Josh Allen's been playing, I think that with the heavy hearts that team's going to be playing with, it's good for them to go out and get a win. They'll get the bye week. They'll be able to put themselves in a really good position for long-term playoff success. So
I like it, absolutely.
I like that. Next, we're going with the Rams in Seattle. The Rams, obviously, not the season they've been expecting. Baker Mayfield is running the show instead of Matthew Stafford.
There's no Cooper Kupp.
No Cooper Kupp. No Aaron Donald.
Jalen Ramsey, 2 interceptions. Aiden Hutchinson has more interceptions than Jalen Ramsey. That's the kind of season it's been.
And just like New England, Seattle's in a position where they have 3. They're one of 3 teams going for the 7th seed, the last playoff spot that they can get in the NFC, along with the Packers and the Lions. And I think Seattle goes out and wins this game at home. It's the last week. It's a tough place to play. They have a favorable matchup. I say go right for Seattle. A lot of people are going to say maybe the game's a little close. These teams are familiar. Geno didn't play great against the Rams last time, but I believe in Seattle.
Look, Bobby Wagner will show up in this game. He showed up in the last game. He was a huge component to why their team was still in the game for the majority of it.
Yeah.
It will be like that again. All that being said, there is a lot on the line here for the Seahawks, and they have a really, really solid squad with some young talent on the defensive side of the ball. I am really sad to hear that Jordan Brooks tore his ACL. He is going to be out for the remainder of the season and sometime next season. So it's a huge loss for this defense that we saw the last few weeks has been struggling. They know what's at stake here. Pete Carroll has been here before.
Yep.
They will get the win. I like him for this week as well.
Yeah, they're definitely. I feel like with that win, it's going to complicate. Like you don't know what's going to happen in that Lions Packers kind of situation.
Week 18, you gotta love it, baby.
Yeah, no, and the playoff clinching scenarios are there. For them, I have to go straight with Seattle, no problem. But Dallas, we were talking about this. The next game, Dallas going to Washington. Dallas, we were talking about trying to lock up that first seed.
Yeah.
But Washington's been giving some people issues this year. So what do you think about that? Do you think it's just a blowout on Dallas's part?
I do think it's a blowout on Dallas's part. The main reason why is you had Taylor Heineke, and then he's sitting, and then you had Carson Wentz, and then you bench him, and now you have Sam Howell, your rookie quarterback, and now it's like, is Heineke not going to be around next season? Are you putting in Howell to get him some experience to see where he's at this point in the season? Like, what is going on right now with this quarterback room? I love Ron Rivera. Don't love the owner and the front office of this franchise, but I really just want to see what is happening because for a moment, it looked like Washington had their quarterback and had a route to the playoffs.
For real.
And just out of nowhere, that one game against San Francisco just changed the scope of everything for them.
And last week you saw Ron Rivera going into the game not even knowing he can get eliminated, and they lost anyway. I mean, we're talking about all these teams that have the motivation this week. I think Dallas has that motivation. They're trying to get that first seed. We were talking about with San Francisco.
You get the bye, you get the home field advantage, all the things come along with it.
And with Dallas, too, I mean, they're in a position to do that. They have a great offense, great defense. They're just better overall than Washington. So I think at this point in the season, it's evident Cowboys all the way.
Absolutely.
What are we looking at here, though? I was going to say, are you ready for your game? The Minnesota Vikings going to Chicago to take on the Bears.
I am ready because it was a not-so-fun game last week against the Packers. I don't know why our equipment manager was like, yo, you don't need to change your cleats. Slipping on grass for a full 4 quarters is just part of the game. Now, that really pissed me off. I felt like we lost because we just didn't really want to play it, not because the Packers played
Yeah.
better than us. Like, Aaron Rodgers did not light up the stat sheet. He can do the little rock and roll dance all he wants. He's going to get his mouth kicked into the playoffs, right? Really pissed me off.
We knew that was
But
coming.
I'm going with the Vikings in this one. You're playing Nathan Peterman, okay? If you lose to the Packers and then you lose to a Nathan Peterman-led Bears and then you're going to go in the playoffs, you will not win a game. I promise you that. You will not win a game in the playoffs if you lose to Nathan Peterman.
Yeah.
So Vikings, you got to win this. JJ needs over 200 yards to get JJ 2K. Probably not going to happen,
Yeah,
but
probably not.
I'd love it. I would love it. I would love just for
Yeah.
a nonsense 21 target
You
day for
definitely
him.
get 15, more than 15 yards, which you got last week on one catch. Not what you want at all from Justin
You need to
Jefferson.
bring that up.
Go
to the next game.
I have to
Go
hurt
to the
my
next
breath.
game.
But I'm going with the Vikings, obviously, like Sean said, blowout city. This is an easy one for them. Go get a better playoff position. Don't rest nobody. You gotta.
You can still get the number 2 seed.
Yeah, you know, they could have rested people if they didn't get blown out last week, but they have to prove a point. But let's go to a little division rival of the team we got behind us, the Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. In Cincinnati,
No Lamar.
no Lamar,
Locking in.
locking in Cincinnati.
Yeah, no questions asked. We don't still know if they're resting any players in the games for the Bills
yeah.
or the Bengals. Given the playoff seeding, I have a gut feeling
Yeah.
that the Kansas City game today on Saturday will help kind of determine that.
Yeah, what's gonna happen?
With the win for them, it kind of makes it clear that they will be the number 1 seed. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. That being said, I still would go Bengals. The
Yeah.
Ravens without Lamar have been struggling. So
Yeah, they have been a poopy. And the fact
They have
really
been a
is
poopy.
that, like, they are in the playoffs, but the Cincinnati Bengals need to get a higher seed. They need to be able to put themselves in a position. Obviously, last week, you know, we, with unfortunate circumstances, we weren't able to watch this team, but we need to see how they kind of react to that game last week against a division opponent with playoff implications on the line.
they're at home. They're going to have the fan base with them. So a lot of things going in their direction.
And, you know, last year when the Bengals were getting hot in December, it was really, like, around these last 3-4 weeks, and they have won 7 straight, despite, like, last week's no contest. They still have won 7 straight. This is the hottest team in the NFL right now, so go take them. They're at home. Easy money.
Absolutely.
And next one, we got the Jets at the Miami Dolphins. The Jets obviously not playing with Mike White. They're going to have Joe Flacco, but what we're looking at here is the Dolphins are also going to have Skylar Thompson. So
There's going to be no Tua.
not the prettiest game, but I will go with the Jets. I think their defense has been really sticking up. I really loved what the players said last week after the game, where they knew they got eliminated, but they didn't quit, and they just wanted to continue. The whole locker room felt the same way. I feel like the Jets need to carry that momentum into the next season, so I'm going to go with them on the road. Sorry, Miami fans, about to be a little less sunny down there.
I'm also going to lock in the Jets right now. They're eliminated from the playoffs. Dolphins still have a chance.
Yeah.
We talk about it every single week. You have an opportunity to knock out a division opponent. You take that opportunity. There's going to be 3 offensive linemen for the Jets that are not going to be in this one with their third string quarterback
Yeah.
technically and Joe Flacco also in. So that's something to monitor. Could give the edge a little bit to the Miami front
Yeah.
7. I do like the Jets. I think the defense has been playing great all year. DJ Reed not getting a Pro Bowl nod was just an
Huge.
absolute snub.
Even Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, Sauce Gardner's been playing great all season. I hope that they lock up the Miami Dolphins and get the win for the Jets.
Yeah, and Sauce playing a nice finale his rookie year against 2 of the toughest receivers to play against.
great
Miami,
one.
in and of itself, has been such a shocker this season. So many ups and downs, but the Jets, they've had a lot more ups than we expected. So it's hard not to want to go with them. You know?
And then obviously we'll keep monitoring the Zach Wilson offseason issues.
Yeah, Zach Wilson's job security is that of Cliff Kingsbury, where by tomorrow he will probably not be on that team or their future.
There's a
plan.
high potential that come Monday morning, there is no Cliff Kingsbury or Zach Wilson on their respective teams. So
And I got to tell you this, I'm excited about this. The Giants going to Philly. I know we in PA, but we're not in that PA. We're in Pittsburgh, PA. We're going to talk about Philly, PA, where the Giants have to travel this week. And, bruh, I am not excited about this. I hate when the Giants have to go to Philly.
I'm not
But I'm
looking
going to
forward
take
to it.
them because they're playing hot. And I know people don't like it, but they're going to be hot. Saquon needs to get a certain amount of yards to kind of just, like, prove that he can beat this Eagles team in the playoffs. I think they're going to make a statement. That's my opinion.
I sadly, I don't like no Azeez Ojulari in this one. There's no Leonard Williams. There's no Adoree Jackson. All right? I am real scared. All
Yeah.
right? There's potential. I've heard rumors. I know Jack doesn't like to hear but some rumors of some players maybe sitting and not playing in this game for the Giants. And that could be big if there's no Daniel Jones because you won't get to see him tripping after an 80-yard run on the Eagles. All right? I'm locking in the Eagles. They have a little bit more to play with. All of a
Yeah.
sudden, Jalen Hurts isn't in the MVP competition. They're fighting for their division. They're fighting for this first seed. That's not what we were talking about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We were saying Gardner Minshew can lead this team.
Mhm.
They are getting Hurts back. It's looking like today or tomorrow for
yeah.
the game. So hopefully he will be in for them. But I think the Eagles have a little bit more at stake right now. The Giants know, win or lose, their place in the playoffs is going to stay the same regardless. So there's, do you run the risk of putting out Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley? That little ankle sprain could be all the difference between your first-round playoff win and your first-round playoff loss. So
no, I agree, and it's definitely a risk that to assess, like putting the players in. I know Brian Dable came out the other day, and he was like, it's a long season. They're supposed to be playing at this point in the season. If we were playing for something bigger, we would be playing. So yeah. I like that mentality of it. I do think it's going to be a tough one. Philly is the kryptonite of the Giants the last 10 years or so. Literally, it doesn't care if it's Jalen Hurts or Nick Foles or Carson Wentz. When we go into Philly, we do not play well. I think it would be a very close victory, but I don't know. Like you said, the Eagles have been kind of sliding in a way that we didn't expect them to.
They're also getting healthy right now. They're getting Sweat back. They're getting Davis back. This is the time where the Eagles all of a sudden, other teams are getting injured. They seem to be getting healthy and back onto the right track. Robert Quinn coming back. I don't like that for them. But still, watch out for the 49ers in the playoffs.
Well, you're going to be really excited about this game we got to talk about. The Lions and the Packers. As we talked about, this is kind of a playoff game for the Lions. Probably the biggest game the Lions have played.
Lions win.
In a very long time.
Lions win. I'm pretty sure that they're in. The winner of these games and they're in. So the Seattle loss, it helps them out. I'm locking in the Lions right now. I think that there's a lot to play for. They started this season 1-6, and they're currently at an 8-8 record right now.
Yeah.
They have an opportunity
incredibly hard to
get to 9-8, and Dan Campbell's second season with them, with Jared Goff, who everyone thought was just going to be this bridge quarterback, kind of playing like crap.
Well, get ready, people. He better be the franchise.
He might play out into the franchise quarterback because he's been playing great. DeAndre Swift got really involved and started my fantasy last week. That hurt. Jamal Williams obviously having a great season. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 1,000-yard season. I like what the Lions can do. Yeah. While the Packers have played better and they did beat up on the Vikings, there's just something about the Lions team that they always play better when the circumstance requires them to. If they're playing the Texans, they're going to put up 5 points somehow. Yeah. Right? But if they're playing the 49ers, they're going to put up 40 points right along with the 49ers. That's how this team operates. I think they're going to get the win in Green Bay, and I think you're going to see a lot of Packers fans being like, what the fuck? Did we just lose to the Lions at the end of our season?
Yeah, it would only feel right that with all the ups and downs that Aaron Rodgers has had this year of falling and kind of getting better, and then their team sucks, and now they're on a big run, it would be hysterical to me to watch him lose to the Lions, because I think it absolutely can happen. Like he said, Dan Campbell is coaching a really hard-nosed team. Good running game. The stuff that the Packers do not have. They have to use A.J. Dillon. They haven't been able to use Aaron Jones. Their offense doesn't look the same as it does when they were on the hot streak a couple weeks ago. Yep. The Lions, they're getting hotter. They have a lot of ways to beat you. They have a hard-nosed defense. And we saw them play the Packers earlier this year, and they kicked the crap out of Aaron Rodgers. So I'm riding with my boy here and going with Detroit.
Do it again. Now let's tell them the last game of the week and the most important because we're going to be there.
Yeah, so the most important game, obviously, we're going to be there at Acrisure Stadium, Heinz Field, the real Pittsburgh people. Yep. We're going to be there watching them take on the Browns. The Steelers, as we talked about, are one of those teams that are trying to gun for the playoffs.
They're this close.
They are this close. With a win, they are going to have a great chance of getting in, especially with a Miami loss, things like that.
Loss, things like that.
They have really worked their way up, and I would, we talk about it every year on the show. Mike Tomlin is not going to have a losing record. That's just not what he does. God
He's
doesn't
not a
let
loser.
him do it.
He's
God's
not a
like,
loser.
Yo, you're going to start 1-6. I'm still going to put you at 9-8 at the end of the year. What I'm thinking about is we come here tomorrow and we see Najee Harris going off the way he has the last couple of weeks. It's been incredible. I know all respect to Nick Chubb and Amari Cooper and all what they've been doing in Cleveland, but the offense for the Steelers right now is getting hot, man.
I like the offense right now. The Steelers. They have 6 straight wins. Of those 6, Kenny Pickett 4 game-winning drives from your rookie quarterback, who at the very start of the season when he took over the job. Not to say that he looked like a bust. It's always hard to assess, but you were definitely kind of like,
the growing
pains. Not what we want, And now you're looking at this. You have a chance to make the playoffs. Even if you don't make the playoffs, I think if you're a Steelers fan, you can only be proud of the season. When you start the season, I think it was 1-7, similar to the Lions. First 8 weeks, you only have 1 win. Second 8 weeks have just been fantastic.
Yeah.
Just 7-1. You've just been dominating the field. I love it. TJ Watt playing as the defensive player of the year, kind of kin it. I know I've been on the Micah Parsons train, but 17 sacks right now for TJ Watt. Or that's Nick Bosa, my bad. I'm so sorry. Nick Bosa has 17, but TJ Watt still been playing lights out all season. Yeah. I don't know. I like this. I like a win for the Steelers right now. There's a lot
over
on
under
the line.
on a sack and a half for TJ Watt.
Oh, I think it's a 2.5 sack kind of day for him.
2.5.
I don't think Deshaun Watson is going to get to run away with ease. I think that the Steelers and the Steelers fans will be like, hit him.
No, and the Browns right now, no Jadeveon Clowney, so that adds a little half of the pass rush. Myles Garrett's going to have, as we talked about this yesterday, Sean pointed out, he's going to have preferential treatment, so he's going to have his matchups that he wants.
That's why Myles Garrett didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Because Myles Garrett was getting all the attention. Jadeveon Clowney was like, I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah, and now Myles Garrett came out this morning. He said we only want volunteers, not hostages on our team. So obviously he ain't, he's playing tomorrow and Jadeveon is not, which is huge because it's going to open up a huge amount of the run game for Pickett and Najee. I really love what George Pickens has been doing the last couple of weeks. Deontay Johnson, I'd love to see him get a little more involved. But the fact is, they've been getting everybody involved. They have the tight end, Freiermuth, who's been playing great. And they're on this 6-game win streak because they're playing like a team. The offense is good. The defense is good. And I just don't trust Deshaun Watson coming into enemy territory like this when he's already eliminated to be motivated enough to win.
Yep, I love it. I'm locking in the Steelers for sure. I think there's a lot to play for right now. And the best part about, I think, watching Pittsburgh play is you can just tell that they just want to play for the man next to them. You know what I mean? It's not like all that matters is they get the win. It's not about the scoreboard, about the stat sheet. You know, they're winning these games in dogfights. It's not pretty. That game against the Ravens wasn't pretty. But they just didn't stop until the final moment, got the win. I love that. I respect that. I can't wait. Definitely go with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and they've been clutch. You got the Raiders, you got the Ravens, both losing to the Steelers in prime time the last 2 weeks. Like Sean said, they've been hot. Go for them. The Browns just don't provide much optimism in this matchup. And we're going to go there on Sunday and watch their ass get beat.
And I love it. All right, that's all the time we have. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you guys for checking us out. Always Just Saying Football on YouTube, JustSayingFootball.com, Just Saying Football on Spotify, and Just Saying No GWJS on Instagram for all your article video updates. Thank you guys for checking us out.
Enjoy.